Hey everybody, I'm Uriah Kaiser. If we're just meeting for some reason for the first time, I'm the publisher of Potomac Local News, and I wanted to take a minute and kind of recap the week. It has been crazy, right, is the first word that comes to mind. Everything with this coronavirus story has consumed the news cycle, and I'll tell you that I've been a reporter for a long time. I've been the publisher, owner, chief bottle washer, whatever, at Potomac Local News for 10 years. And I worked in television before that, worked in newspapers before that, and we saw some things, right? We saw, I've worked plane crashes and SARS and swine flu. We've seen, the only thing that comes to mind that to compare to this, and the level of hysteria doesn't even reach that, is September 11th, right? Where across the country, everyone is thinking about the same thing. Everyone has their mind on the same news story. And so to say that the week has been crazy is an understatement. The flow of news and information that has been coming into our email boxes here at Potomac Local, it's been like a fire hose, right? All week long, press releases, notifications, social media, people not really knowing what's going on, people asking us questions about what's going on, jurisdictions, local governments, the health department issuing press releases and warnings and notifications for press conferences that will be streamed live so we can view them and report on them. It has been, again, like I said, I've been doing this here at Potomac Local News for 10 years and working in the media for much longer, and I've never seen anything like it. And it's also been personal because it affects our community in a way that I have never seen before. I've never seen the schools decide to close, for universities decide to send students home for 3 weeks period, perhaps longer. I have never worked with public information officers who have said, listen, we are so completely bogged down right now, we can't even take any questions about anything other than the coronavirus. And that is what's happening right now. So I've never seen anything like this before, and I will say that I hope I never see anything like this again, but only time will tell. I do believe that a lot of this, and this is my personal opinion, working in the media, watching the national press, right, reading online, reading stories online, watching the cable news nets. I watch them on YouTube. Some of you know I don't have a cable subscription, but YouTube is a blessing. A lot of, and again, my opinion, a lot of this has been hyped up by the press, by the media. I think with the 24-hour news cycle and so many different pundits and opinionators, a lot of this has been politicized. We're in an election year, right? It's 2020. Trump has been in office for 4 years. It's an election year, and it has sort of been a political hysteria for the past 4 years within the press and on the national press. I'll preface that, national press. And so they have led this conversation. They have whipped up, this has been a major topic amongst the national press, and it's worked, right? So I went to the store yesterday, the grocery store, no toilet paper, no water. A lot of the staples that you were looking for, canned food, gone. And again, stuff that we've never seen before. So that's my personal opinion of the power of the press, and that is what's happened. Now, that is not diminishing the seriousness of the coronavirus. My family is taking every precaution. We understand that this virus is dangerous, right? Especially for the elderly. So in my family, right, we're washing our hands constantly. We're using hand sanitizer at every turn. My hands are dry and cracked, but that's okay. We're still going to do it. Personally, my family, we're the parents of a newborn, right? She just turned 1 month old, and to bring a newborn into this has been for the most part scary, because you don't know exactly what to expect, right? They tell you that that children and and middle-aged people, into the 30s, 40s, 50s, what have you, will do fine, right? And you will recover if you do catch the coronavirus. It is those who are elderly and with compromised immune systems that will have a harder time recovering and unfortunately die from the coronavirus, as we've seen in some of the nursing homes in the country and of course around the world. We've seen deaths from this coronavirus. So by no means are we making light of the coronavirus. It's a very serious threat, and I hope you are taking it seriously as well, and you are protecting you and your family at home. All of that said, I want to take this moment to say thank you, right? If you're still watching this video, and I hope you are, I want to say thank you. You guys have been a tremendous help all week, all month, really, because for me, being a new dad, having it seems a whirlwind of things in my personal life going on, with caring for an infant, a newborn, and still having to put out a news product every day online. It's been daunting, right? And I'm not going to spend a lot of time just crying, woe is me. I want to take this moment to say thank you for everything you've done to help me. You're pitching in, you're pitching stories, you're helping to post content to the web, you contacting your sources and working them for information about the coronavirus, or whatever task is in Asana, you checking Asana every day to see what's available and claiming assignments. These are all important things that help me produce a great news product for our community, right? The community of readers and subscribers that rely on us to tell them what's going on, where they live. You are such an integral part of that, and I thank you so much for supporting me and really keeping me on my toes, and giving me some energy and strength and a drive, right, to continue doing the important work that we do. We cannot do it without you, so thank you. And I think it's also important that while I mentioned earlier in the video, there's a lot of public information officers, a lot of sources right now that are consumed with the coronavirus, and they don't really have time to talk about much else. It's part of our job, I believe, to try to talk about something else, right? The national press will continue to talk about coronavirus, which then will make our community here at the local level sort of react to that. And as we've seen, schools are going to close, universities are not going to allow students to come back from spring break. They're going to take precautions, and these again are unprecedented precautions. So they're going to react to that. But on the local level, yes, we have to tell our subscribers, our audience, our community of readers and subscribers what is going on, because they want to know, they deserve to know, they have a right to know. But we also have a mission to kind of continue telling great local stories that get their mind off of this coronavirus stuff. If one sits all day, scroll through their phone, and all they see is coronavirus stuff, if you're watching TV all day and that's all you see, it can become very just overwhelming. And I know I've been up feeding my little daughter at 3 in the morning, and I've had the cable news on, and you sit there and you feel alone, and you just, I'm clutching my daughter and wanting to do everything I can to protect her. And so it can become overwhelming. So again, it's our job to continue to look for those stories. The restaurant stories that we're telling are fantastic. I'd like to tell more business stories. I know I met with Rick and Jessica Washington about that the other day. We want to talk about the great things our businesses are doing. Our businesses, folks, are going to have a lot of challenges coming out of this, right? We're facing some economic downturn. The stock market ain't looking pretty hot right now. We can only hope that turns around in a matter of weeks as we sort of reach peak of this pandemic, and hopefully that turns around. But our businesses are struggling. Restaurants right now no one's coming out to eat. Businesses are trying to communicate with their customers, it's okay to continue to do business. We still want to hear from you. We still want to work with you. And so we need to help them as much as we can to tell the story of the great work that they're doing in our community. It's also my intention to establish a green team, right? There are many stories out there about our parks and our recreation departments, rivers, swimming pools, walking trails. There are plenty of places for people to go recreate in our community, and there, in just about every jurisdiction that we cover, they have a Parks and Rec commission. They have a board that meets on a regular basis, much like the city council or board of supervisors, or the library board of trustees, or the airports authority, what have you. There are Parks and Rec boards that meet often, and I want to be able to get the agendas, right, of these meetings and to review them and say, well, wouldn't it be interesting if we could write a story about the new swimming pool they're going to put in, or the new walking trail that's going to go in, or the new boat ramp that's going to go in on the Potomac River or the Rappahannock River or what have you. These stories are great stories. These are community stories. These are stories that nobody else are writing or producing, because everybody's so focused on the coronavirus right now. And while we have a job to report that too, as it affects our community, we also have a job again to look for great stories that, like we always do, to tell great stories about our community, to tell the stories that nobody else is telling, and do it remotely, right? It's a blessing, I think, to be able to work remotely using tools like Asana, using tools like email and Google Hangouts, and all the different online tools that we use. It allows us to work at your pace, and even the live streaming, right? Those my city and county teams, my school board guys and gals who go out and cover these meetings. Well, these meetings are also live streamed, so you can actually live stream them from home and cover them, right? And write what happens and make sure we have our community covered that way. So we live in a great time. I'm convinced that we live in a great time. The future for us is bright. This coronavirus stuff is not going to stop us. It's not going to kill our community. It's certainly not going to kill what we're doing, and again, we're working remotely, so it makes it that much easier for us to do. So bottom line, wrapping this thing up, again, thank you so much for your dedication to your work, to your passion, to you wanting to tell stories, and for your willingness to share some of your expertise, your knowledge, your skills, your passion, your willingness to share it with me here at Potomac Local. That does not go unappreciated, and our community of people who live in our area in Northern Virginia, our community of subscribers and readers, the ones that we serve every day, that doesn't go unnoticed either. So make it a great weekend, folks. I hope you take some time, spend some time with your family, recharge those batteries. I know I'm going to try to do that this weekend too, and we'll start fresh on a Monday morning in just about 2 days from now. So take care.